Good evening. My name is David Crowe. I'm the chairperson, excuse me, good evening. I'm the chairperson of the Orange Zoning Board. Dave Crowe can't remember to turn on his mic, so they're waving at me frantically in the back room there. Welcome to the Orange Zoning Board meeting, Zoning Board of Appeals meeting for August of 2025. We're already in August, can you believe it?
Yep.
This is going really fast. To my right, I have members Wayne Garrett, Pat Panza. I have our zoning enforcement officer, Jack Demersion. Straight across from me, I have the stars of the show. I have our recording secretary, Jenny Bowser, and Bonnie Syed, our court reporter, recording us on. And to my left, I have members Greg Natalino, Eric Orzel, and we have our new alternate member, Mike Sirachman. Close? Okay, Mike Sirachman, who is fully sworn in this week and will be with us.
Congratulations.
We have a full board tonight, so it will require 4 of 5 votes from the regular members to pass any variance. Michael will be participating in the discussion, but will not vote because we have all our board members here tonight. If you wish to speak on behalf or against any petition, you have to do so from here at the podium. Please wait to be recognized by the chair before you speak. Once somebody's recognized by the chair, please do not interrupt them. Let them finish their sentence. Everyone will be given an opportunity to speak, I promise, either before or against any of these applications that we have tonight. Repeated interruptions from the crowd may result in removal from the meeting. Again, I promise you that anybody who wishes to speak for any variance or against any variance will be given an opportunity to speak. No variance given by this board is effective until it's recorded on the land record, so please look for that get that done. Not look for that in the mail, get that done. With that said, gentlemen, have you had an opportunity to review the minutes of last meeting?
Yes.
Make a motion to approve?
I have a motion to approve.
I
Any
second it.
seconds? I have a second from Pat. All opposed?
You know,
All in favor? I like to do that one last because everyone puts their hand up. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, all right. Excellent. So the minutes are approved.
And just for the record, the applicant that we went over at the last meeting withdrew his application,
correct.
sold his property, so no issues there.
It won't be
Excellent.
coming back.
All's well that ends well.
Yes.
All right. With that, I'm going to ask Pat Panza to read the legal notice for the evening. If you will, Pat.
I will. Orange Zoning Board of Appeals, Town Hall, 617 Orange Center Road, Orange, Connecticut, to appear one time on Tuesday, July 22nd, 2025, and one time on Tuesday, July 29th, 2025. To hear the following, notice to be given to the Orange Zoning Board of Appeals will hold this meeting on Monday, August 4th at 7 p.m. at the Orange Town Hall, again at 617 Orange Center Road, to conduct a public hearing on the following. We have a petition that is before us, 1841, submitted by Paul Sikas, I believe that's pronounced, I hope, for property known as 847 Beechwood Road in Orange, a variance in section 383-30A and 383-31B have been requested for street, side, property line setback, and maximum ground coverage for a residential zone. This application and materials have been on file at the Orange Zoning Office. A copy has been noticed and filed in the Orange Town Clerk, dated in Orange on the 21st day of July, 2025. Respectfully, David Crowe as chairman.
Thank you, Pat.
You got it.
Before we summon the petitioner here, I just want to note for the record that we have a proper application with an A2 survey attached. It looks as though notice was mailed to the neighbors. It's something we'll check. And our hearing is within 65 days of that?
That is correct, Mr. Chairman.
Upper story.
There's no special use in this, right? There's just a straight variance
No,
application?
nope.
Okay, what type of district are we in, do you know?
We are in the residential zone, RES.
Okay.
It's on.
And we don't have any conflicts with the board that anybody's aware of? Is anybody on the board aware of any conflicts with any of the petitioners? No?
Nope.
Okay, then let's begin the public hearing. With that, I'd like to ask the petitioner to come to the podium, please. Just introduce yourself and give your name and address for the record.
Sounds good.
Thank you. Good evening.
Good evening. Hello, everyone. My name is Paul Sekas. My wife and I live at 847 Beechwood Road. And we're before you today to request two variances, 383-30, 383-31 for ground coverage and setbacks. So essentially what we're trying to do is fill the void in our floor plan on our existing footprint on our property, put a second garage, and then the new the existing sunroom becomes our new living room, and then we're able to have more space for the primary suite on the second floor. Then we can rearrange the first floor by introducing an actual dining room and something that we don't have now. So the reason why we're here is because our lot is an existing non-conforming lot. Not just based on the minimum lot area. The town requires 60,000 square feet, and we're existing at 14,804.4 square feet per the A2 survey that you guys should all have copies of. The other variance regarding the setbacks, we're looking to put a front porch, a small front porch. It is only 8 feet by 18 feet. That will close the gap even more between the street and the front of the house. So we're looking for a variance of that. You guys are requiring a 50-foot per the regulations, and the addition of that front porch would come in at about 29 feet and then 26 feet for the last step that hits the ground. So kind of thought long and hard how we can make this work if in fact the ground coverage and the setback distance couldn't be met, or if you guys were unwilling to vote an approval for it. So basically, we have a existing deck that's 16 feet by 20 feet. It's 320 square feet total. Our new garage that we're proposing is 204 square feet total, a little bit over that. If need be, we're willing to sacrifice that equivalent square footage part of our deck to satisfy the ground coverage minimum in order to have that second garage. So if the ground coverage tends to be something that we're gonna have an issue with, we have no problem forfeiting part of our deck to trade the deck area to the square footage area for the second garage. If you guys would like to flip to the final page there, I have some photos that we've included. Photo number 5 is, I think, the most telling one for our project. That is just a void there that is approximately 18 by 11 feet. That's where the second garage would go. It would be attached to the existing garage to its left, which can be seen in photo 3, and then connect to the existing kitchen, which is, the arrow is kind of pointing to the kitchen window, but this is just intended to show, hey, the garage is gonna go in this corner. It's gonna square off our building footprint, and we're gonna be able to move up and then increase our living space for the living room and hosting. You guys have any questions that I might be able to answer?
Good evening, Mr. Stevens. How are you?
Doing well, how are you?
Good. I'm Dave Crowe, like I said, I just want to introduce myself before I ask a question.
Yeah, absolutely, thank you.
My first question to you is, you gave notice to all your neighbors, correct? As you said in your application.
Yes.
you mailed notice.
Yep.
Okay, did you hear from any of them?
We heard from Stephen and Catherine Corrick. They're directly to the south if you're facing our house. And they didn't have any issue with it. I asked, I honestly asked them if I write a letter, would you guys take a look at it and sign it if you don't have any issues, but never got around to writing a letter. Verbally, they said they don't have an issue with it, and that's all we heard personally. That's all we heard personally.
So you told everybody you didn't hear anything back from them, right?
Correct,
Okay.
correct.
I will note just one quick thing. The homeowner to the north of the applicant tonight did stop in my office briefly today. She seemed pretty happy with looking at the plans and had no issue. That being said, nothing formal to enter into the record.
No
Okay.
correspondence?
No correspondence. She just popped in to ask a couple questions.
Somebody over here have a question? Pat?
Yeah, a couple things. Of course. Again, I want to reaffirm what your hardship is again. Since it looks like you're ripping the entire roof off, is that correct? And putting a master bedroom suite up there?
Yes, yes.
Okay.
So so we need to do a new roof anyways, and kind of our thought was, since we're going to do the second garage, why don't we just carry the rest of the house over so we can have that additional living space?
And who prepared your septic evaluation?
It was TM Wright.
Okay, TM Wright?
Yep, TM Wright Excavating.
And Nomakowski did the drawings, the engineering?
Yes, yes,
Okay.
they did. And NOK did the
Yeah.
A2 plan. I had GMP Architecture on Reed Street in Milford prepare the architectural plans. TM Wright did the lower leach field replacement, because last year we were going through, we had a problem up front that we only had 2-foot separation between the new foundation corner and the lower row of the leach field. So what we did last year was we uprooted the lower row of the leach field, replaced it with one that was farther away and had more linear footage in order to comply with that.
Was this house originally a two-bedroom home?
No, we moved in and it was a 3-bedroom.
Three-bedroom? So
Three-bedroom,
you're
2-bath.
you're eliminating one bedroom to make it an office,
Yes.
and you're creating a master bedroom. So do you still have 3 bedrooms at
Yeah,
that point?
yep. The bedroom count and bathroom count stay the same because we don't have the capacity with the existing septic tank to handle
Okay.
anything more.
Well, that's why I was asking.
Oh, yeah.
Thank
Yep,
you.
of course.
That's it, on my end.
Go ahead.
Hi, my name's Wayne Garrick.
That way.
Hi. Just to follow up a little bit further with Pat, have these plans been reviewed by the health department?
I've spoken with Brian on a few occasions, and he's the one that came out, did another percolation test after or was it before? After the new leach field was installed, and he's the one that signed off on the recent permit for it last year.
For the replacement?
Yes.
But it's my understanding, and I could be wrong, but that in order for a structure, if a structure is built on piers, it can be within 5 feet of a septic system. But if your addition for this second garage is on frost walls and footings,
Yes.
then it's my understanding that one is required to be 15 feet from a septic system, and you're approximately 8.4 or something like that.
Yep.
So do you have any documentation that the health department has waived the 15-foot requirement?
It's my understanding that the setback from a new foundation corner to the extent of the leach field is 10 feet. I can get documentation for you if need be. These are just conversations I've had with Brian in the past during going through this whole process and understanding the process on how to get here today. He said there's leniency in the 10-foot setback, and he said if you're able to increase it, which we've increased it like 400% essentially from 2 feet to 8.5 feet. And due to the configuration of the property and it's an existing non-conforming, that was the best that we could possibly do, given the existing conditions.
But you don't have anything at this time?
I do have a permit from Brian that was signed off that we just received back in June. I do not have it with me today.
No, I mean for the addition to be 8.4 feet.
No, I do not.
That will come if
I know when it
you
co-
were
I
to
know
get a
when it
favorable
comes.
outcome
He's
tonight,
just-
then it comes out.
He's just
He's just laying
reaffirming.
out the.
Yeah, he's just
the
reaffirming.
Yeah,
process here.
I just wanted to
Yeah.
give a little bit of
Yeah, absolutely.
backstory with that.
And I know,
Exactly.
and Brian has looked at this.
Well-
And the reason why he's letting go is because it's a garage, not a main living area.
Yeah,
That's why.
I won't put words in his mouth, but, yeah.
Just a second, gentlemen.
Well,
Two
it makes a difference to me because that's the regulation.
No,
But
you're right.
anyway.
You're not, there's no argument in that.
No, I know that, but
Yeah.
did you do like a Manta system to increase the?
Yes, we had 40, I believe we had previously 45 linear feet, and now we have 47. Yeah, it's a small increase, but yet an increase.
It's also going with Manta system, yeah.
Mantis
More
systems,
efficiency.
they're great.
Yeah,
Great system.
yeah.
You fit a lot more in a much smaller area.
Exactly, and that's after going back and forth with NOK for probably 6 months, trying to come up with a solution and where to arrange it, that's what we landed on.
Okay, moving on.
Zoning wise, you're fine with this.
Wayne,
Okay.
did you
No,
finish
you're
your
fine.
question?
No, I'm not fine.
No?
No,
Did you finish your question?
no, but thank you. I didn't see what, space 201, it wasn't labeled, it just says 201 on the second floor plan. Is that another bedroom, or,
Space
it only has a single door entering it? Or is it an attic space?
Gonna find out right now.
Yeah, I saw that.
I think it's a new family room on the second floor.
Well, for to qualify as a family room, it would have to have a 5-foot opening to it with no doors?
So, trying to find the other plan that identifies that. So that becomes the bedroom, that becomes another bedroom upstairs. And it swaps from, office 106 on the first floor,
Uh-huh.
which is now the existing bedroom.
Since you were opening.
I'm trying to,
Oh. Yeah, 201.
yeah. This one here is only got 3 pages.
I want to compliment you on a robust set of plans.
Oh, thank you.
Okay, so that's,
I
so
appreciate it.
two
Draw it
oh
on
one
the back with gum
should be
wrap.
listed as a bedroom?
Yes, 201 should be listed as a bedroom because on the first floor, that
Your bedroom
bedroom
goes there.
at the northwest corner
Became an office.
becomes the office with that required 5-foot opening.
Someday this will be on an iPad.
Yeah, maybe someday.
That's why I asked.
Do you want me to, I
about
can
the-
pass this
Yeah,
around?
no, you're
Not
fine.
as long as there's lawyers, it won't.
Yeah.
We like to put our hands on the paper.
201 is going to be, what happened was, he eliminated the bedroom downstairs, made it an office, now the bedroom moved upstairs. He's ripping the roof right off the house, and then
Yeah.
he's increasing the height. So, now it becomes a master bedroom, he's got a his and her closet, is that correct?
Correct.
And, you got other closets in the bedroom too. You got 3 other closets in there.
Yeah, there's a lot of storage which we're lacking right now, so this will be nice to have.
Yeah, very nicely laid out.
Thank you.
I'm sorry, just for clarification, I see 204 as the master bedroom.
Yeah.
Yeah, but 201 is on the far side.
Yeah,
It's
Yeah,
a secondary.
That's gonna be another bedroom.
Yeah,
So
so
one
this-
bedroom on the first
Get a
floor,
repl-
two on the second.
Yeah.
correct, correct, so we go from,
Downstairs to
Three
upstairs.
bedrooms.
E- e- exactly.
Go one at a time, please. Thank you.
Everybody's
201
excited
is
about
gonna be a bedroom. Okay, that'll be your 3rd bedroom.
yeah, so we go from 2 on the first floor now to, and 1 on the second, to 2 on the second and 1 on the first.
Right.
Yeah, we had to do that even change, otherwise we wouldn't be able to do anything because of the existing septic system size.
I have another question.
Okay. Let you go first.
So in your application?
Yep.
And your presentation, you mentioned that, in order to be more compliant with the coverage regulations,
Yes,
you would consider eliminating the front porch and the deck extension. I'm wondering, I mean, you have a large side yard to the south, which hasn't been taken advantage of necessarily. I mean, I like the idea of a porch, I mean, it's always pleasant, but would it be possible, or did you consider through your design process, locating the porch to the south of the living room, which would achieve a number of things? It would give you more depth to your garages potentially below. It looks like they're only 18 feet deep.
yeah,
They should be at least 20 to 24.
it's, so there's small garages.
Well, they could be longer if the porch was designed to be,
Cantilevered?
no, if it was designed to be enclosed space below.
Okay,
You could still have the stair face the front. You could go up the stair from the front, and you could still enter your living room space at any point you wish, as opposed to just in the corner where you have it now. So, maybe, I don't know, it's something for you to think about, but,
yeah, well,
maybe in order to be more conforming in terms of putting the porch to the side, and you wouldn't have to request the front yard setback relief, only coverage.
Coverage would be a problem, though.
It's still a coverage request, but it's a very small, non-conforming lot. I'll give you that. But only being 25 feet from the road is somewhat of a concern, though it's kind of consistent with the neighborhood to a certain degree. But,
Yeah.
But my question goes to, what were the alternatives explored about this porch? And maybe take advantage of the generous side yard that you have there as opposed to impinging upon the front yard.
So, the considerations we had we were either going to do it or not do it to the dimensions that we have here or close to it, and then we were just gonna rebuild the existing. So we were so concerned on working through the process to help out the approval for the garage itself, in order to get that accessibility. And, we were very willing to just 86 the entirety of the front porch if that meant being able to do what we wanted to. And I didn't even explore options to rotate it around to the side. So that's a fantastic comment, and thank you for saying that, because now I think I could look into an option that we didn't
I mean,
consider before.
a portion of that porch, if it extends along the front line of the house, is obviously still existing non-conforming.
Yeah.
But it's not increasing, in my opinion, the non-conformity of the front of the house.
Yeah.
And and you have 56 feet as a side yard, and you're only required to have 25 feet. I mean, you could do whatever you want there. Your porch doesn't even have to be 8 by 18. It can be whatever the width of the house is. You could make it 10 by the width of the house if you wanted to make it a more generous porch. And you wouldn't have to, I don't know, Jack would have to clarify this, but by extending the front of the house and not increasing the nonconformity, whether or not you'd still need a front yard variance for that, but I think you could still have the stair face the front.
Okay,
And people would come up the front there and
go around the,
come into your living room space at any point you wish along the line. And maybe having the porch face south is somewhat more desirable too, but I'm not sure. That's for you and your wife to decide.
yeah, definitely gonna,
We don't do marriage counseling,
thank you, I appreciate it, but,
but,
I may reach out afterwards. But if, that's certainly an option, so we'll entertain it.
well, okay, because you offered to eliminate it altogether.
Yeah.
I'd almost rather not take advantage of your offer,
Okay,
so I think that might be a possibility.
okay, yeah, I think it's reasonable.
Eric, you got something?
Yeah, my name is Eric Rosell. So I was looking at the plan, from the road. I like the porch on the front. Aesthetically, it looks great. With the roof. Did you have standing seam roof on there, or metal roof?
So due to cost, the standing seam metal roof is gonna turn into a
Asphalt.
3-tab shingled roof, yeah.
Got it. So, I mean, even if you, if you want to, I wouldn't eliminate it, because I think just aesthetically, it looks great from the road. I mean, if you want to just maybe bring it back a little bit, and if you are still looking for that, impervious surface percentage, I would, because that's 18 feet across, I would just, take some of that, add it to your garage footing, bump your garage out 2 feet all the way across, and ask for that square footage. If you're gonna ask for some impervious surface, percentage, square footage, or, I should say structure, percentage. That would probably benefit you better by having a little bit longer garage, shorten up that porch, still have the visual, aspect of the porch in the front, just, instead of going 8 feet, maybe go, 4 feet, And just because it looks great from the road, and I'm sure, you know, in the neighborhood will enjoy it too. And then if you want to just add a little bit to the garage side, that we get, you know, a more usable, garage.
Okay.
I thought I turned it off. I apologize.
We're not here. Whoever's calling out there, we're not here. Pat, you got some?
Okay, very quickly. He could. You got it? You got it.
It was Panza, too.
Boy, Jerry, throw me under the
It
bus.
was a butt die.
I don't think so. All right, very quickly, again, he's redoing the back of the porch over there. There's where we can reduce the amount of coverage by altering that. All I'm saying is get it as close as you can to what the regulation requires and still achieve what you're looking for.
Okay.
So giving back on the deck side, okay, coverage, because that's a fairly large deck in the back, if
Yeah.
I'm mistaken. I think that would be a better alternative. And then, you know, maybe take some from the front, like you said, and your coverage would be closer to what our requirements, because you're at 13 now?
Yeah, yep,
and-
13 and change.
Yeah, so, you know, I mean, that's an opinion. at
Yeah,
this point.
13.2.
Jack, do you have something to add? Mike, anything? Greg? anything?
I mean, overall, I think you did a really good job of utilizing the space. Personally, I don't think it's intrusive, you know, and I think it fits the neighborhood. You know, ultimately, you know, I like what you did here, you know, with what you have, so.
Thank you. Yeah, it's a house from the 40s. We're trying to give it a good update here. Make it match our needs.
Just for clarification
Of
here,
course.
the only place you're really adding living space is in the notch of the house.
Exactly.
That,
Yep.
you know, there's
That's
kind of that almost.
They were just squaring off the
footprint that- Well, and
footprint.
they're
Yeah, you
going
got the
out
whole
too, but I mean,
upper part, yeah.
the only footprint they add is,
But the
of
second-
living space is that spot there in the
second
notch,
floor.
and that the rest is porch space.
Yeah, but he ripped off the
No,
entire
but the
roof.
front setback of the second floor is non-conforming.
Yeah, but still the same, I mean, the footprint.
It's the
It was
footprint
when
the
we
same,
started.
but
It was when we
I
started.
understand that.
It was when we started, so, okay.
That's what a lot of these houses in Orange, that's the problem.
Yeah.
You got
Yeah,
houses on
the front,
non-conforming
the
lots.
front offset doesn't change on the foundation facade exposure. It does for the porch
That's,
though.
but
Yeah.
I made a poor question, is that the only place you're adding living space is in that section.
Yes, in the
I'm
profile.
not talking about
of
how
the-
tall or how
Yes.
wide or whatever, it's just going in, that's the only living space, and then you got porches.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Actually, Mike, a question for Jack is, if, I think I know the answer to this, but if the portion of a building in Orange is existing non-conforming, and you're only extending up but not out, does that require a variance?
It's considered a vertical expansion, so it technically
But
should.
that's not part of this application.
The vertical expansion is going over the proposed addition,
No, in the front. So the existing front yard is non-conforming.
right?
They're going up in the front. So
No.
they're not going up in the front?
Yeah,
going
that's,
up
I
on
think
the
that's where,
side.
I think that's where you're losing me, yeah.
No, he's only going up the back.
He's
Right
squaring
now.
up the back of his garage. making-
No,
making
I
a
understand that. But then he's adding an entire second story to the house.
Yeah, everything,
So everything
gets
above
pulled
the
over.
first floor is new. So now the front of the house at the second floor level it becomes non-conforming, because it's a ranch.
Right.
So the only, but that wouldn't affect the variances that he's asking for tonight. I think the only, yeah, but,
Yeah.
but they're not, he wouldn't be changing the existing, so it would basically be included here. You know, you could say, well, he's asking for a setback variance for the porch, and the rest of the house is staying as is. So he's not encroaching any closer there. I wouldn't see any issue with that being included here.
But what he
No,
said,
but he's not
He's
asking,
saying
he
there may
didn't
be a
ask
third
for a
variance
setback.
for it.
He's saying about the setback on the second floor.
He didn't ask for relief for that.
Yeah, but that's on the same footprint,
It's the same footprint.
Doesn't matter.
But it
Right,
doesn't
but
matter.
I see what he's saying, but it's not extending any further than what he's asking for. What he's asking for, in fact, is even closer to the road.
I understand that.
So-
For a one-story porch, not a second-story addition.
It's language.
I mean, if
the
the
second
board
Which
felt
goes
that was a
to-
significant change,
to go from a ranch to a colonial?
if
No,
it's,
you're not-
if it's
you're not-
non.
You're not changing coverage, you're not changing
Yeah,
the
not
footprint,
changing
you're not
coverage.
changing your
No,
setback.
It is,
Jack
but
just
he is
said-
right, it is vertical expansion.
But you're not exceeding the ultimate height of 35 feet, correct?
No, it
No, so
doesn't.
you wouldn't need a variance for the
Yeah, so you
total
wouldn't need a
height,
variance.
right.
No, you do
But I'm
need a
saying my-
variance
my
for the
comfort-
vertical expansion.
I was comfortable keeping that this second-story addition is not getting any closer than what his variance is being requested today.
Right, he's not
So while I
counting.
agree it is an expansion, I don't think it's an issue here.
So my second part of my question then to you is,
Let's see, Mike, I'll get you.
if he put the porch on the side of the house as opposed to the front, as we were discussing,
Yep,
and he just extended the front yard setback line across into the side yard, okay? Does that portion of the porch, because the front of the house is existing non-conforming, need a variance?
if the new porch was to be constructed, if it didn't meet the 50 feet from the road or 25 from the side, would need a variance.
Thank you very much.
Okay.
But where does,
So in other words, what he's asking now
Yeah.
is why would you need a variance for the
Let's see it,
second
Mike,
floor?
Because of what he just said.
it is a vertical expansion, but
That's the
in
regulation.
my opinion, I think that is included here, showing, hey, the only extra space we need is for this proposed porch. Everything else is
Is behind that.
behind it.
It's
Again, I'm
interpretation, guys.
completely
That's what this
comfortable
is.
with.
Yeah.
Hold on, hold on.
Right, I
Mike,
don't
Mike has
disagree
been
with
very
that.
patient, let's get Mike.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
The footprint, I think, that Wayne is referring to is vertical. If he's not going over the 35 feet, he wouldn't need a variance for that.
But,
No, but
what-
it's
but
front
what-
Setback.
Wayne's point is you have a pre-existing portion of the, pre-existing non-conforming portion of the house. Ranch, so one level. Even if you are going up with that one level, you would need to
Variance.
include that.
Yeah.
Which he's included in the plans, he's shown his intention here. I didn't have any issue with,
In
what
other
was-
words, the
what was put in
language is
front of
not
us.
specific. That's the only difference here. The language.
I think
didn't
if
say
we go
vertical.
on the record tonight and say we see the second story
Exactly.
addition here in the non-conforming area, we are comfortable, with those plans that are in front of us.
Is
That would
the
suffice.
porch,
Let Mike finish.
is the porch on a foundation or is it on piers?
It's on piers. It's low piers. It's just essentially sitting on.
And then that little area between the porch and the garage existing is gonna get covered with your little roof, correct?
Yeah.
That's the way you have it
Well,
proposed.
say that one more time?
The area between, you're basically taking out that little bump out for the porch, right? In the front of the house,
Yeah, in the front of the house, so
that's gonna be roofed
if you're looking at the plan, yeah, this would be roofed and then everything
and continuous.
and continuous. So the ridge line that it's currently at essentially stays the same, except drags from the north to the south across the entirety of the width of the house.
And the way that you enter your garage now, you load that garage, there's a drop. It looks like to me there's a,
Yeah, so you go down the driveway, you swoop left a little bit, and you're maybe 7 feet or so, 6.5 feet below finished grade out front.
so if you put that side porch on, that would have to cantilever over.
Yes.
Wayne, you want to finish your point?
Yes. Well, what the surveyor or the architect failed to do was indicate the setback lines on the survey, okay? So if there had been a front yard setback indicated on the survey, the front yard setback is probably somewhere through the middle of the site plan where the word house is.
If
okay?
you open up the left side of that, it shows setbacks.
Oh, does it?
Yep.
In that little, in the grid, zoning table.
Oh, the zoning table. No, but I'm talking about the 50-foot setback from the front.
There's a from street line
From street
setback,
line
from rear, from property line.
Right. The existing front
Existing and
setback
proposed.
is
It's
34.4 feet. So the required front setback is 50 feet, and that's about where the word house is on the plan. So anything in front of that, all I'm bringing to the board's attention, anything in front of that is subject to a variance because it's in front of, or it impinges upon the front yard setback.
Okay.
Trust me.
Can I say something? Sure. I'm gonna-
So,
This might
this whole
be
neighborhood
helpful.
is pre-existing non-conforming. So all those lots are probably a quarter acre to a half an acre.
Oh, hey.
So I don't think a single house in the neighborhood meets 50-foot
That's
setbacks.
two tonight.
Great.
So, you know,
Is it Pat?
I think the 50-foot setback is kind of like, you know, not an issue because it is pre-existing old. I mean, this is an older neighborhood. This isn't a 1960 neighborhood, it's not a 1970 neighborhood. This is, I believe this is, north of Route 34 over by the middle school,
Yeah,
like around the corner
N-
from.
Northeast near the Mulvey Lakes. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And, you know, and all those lots are pre-existing non-conforming, so you drawing a 50-foot line through the middle of this house really doesn't mean anything because,
Really? Our regulations don't
Gentlemen,
mean
I'll tell you what, I'm
anything?
gonna
Yeah, but the
interrupt
houses
you both
were
here.
built,
This-
like-
This might be better for our discussion section after the
Yeah,
public hearing.
exactly.
I think we can get us back on track here and get through the public hearing, and then we can discuss what we think and what we need to do. Okay? Do you have anything else for us, Mr. Seeges?
Nope, just that pre-existing non-conforming lot, and that's,
That's your hardship, you're saying?
Yeah.
Okay, thank
Thank
you.
you very much. Appreciate
Thank
it.
thank you, everybody, appreciate your time.
Does anyone else wish to speak on behalf of the, I almost said motion. That's how much time I spend in court on the application. Does anyone wish to speak against the application? No?
Before we close anything, I just want to make sure everybody is comfortable. You know, if we have revisions, if we close the public hearing, the applicant cannot come back up and
Right.
really comment. So just want to make sure before we do that, we know, are we okay with what was presented to us? Or do we want to see changes and be able to ask the applicant if that's something he's comfortable with? Just want to make,
Well, that's
throw
hard to
that
do
out there.
without, that's really kind of hard to do without closing the public hearing and getting into the discussion section. That's kind of how we function. That's procedure, kind of long on that.
Absolutely.
Or you table it. And the reason why you would table it, because you've got 3 outstanding issues here. And the one issue that could be a problem is the vertical setback.
That I
It's a-
acknowledge is an issue.
It's an understanding, which I don't disagree with, it's an understanding, and I don't have any problem with it either. But let's say if somebody came out of the woods and said, hey, this wasn't handled properly, even though it was an accommodation, it could come back and sit back onto this board.
Possible.
The other issue that you have here is, there is opportunities to reduce the amount of coverage.
I'm
here.
not sure that's really our job.
I understand, I'm just bringing out what the
Okay,
possibilities
I
are.
heard that,
You
but
know.
I'm not sure that's an issue we have to deal with. What's the third one?
And the third one is, again, if you really dig into the regulations, we know that this whole thing, every house on that block there doesn't meet the requirement. Wayne is correct. As far as that sight line going through at 50 feet setback, it does prevail according to your regulations, okay? But again, that's why he's here, to get a variance.
Right.
So I think that's less of a problem.
I think that kind of blends into the first issue you were talking about, is does he need a vertical setback variance? I think that's the point raised by Wayne, is that correct?
Yeah.
Okay. So, I guess the question is, does the setback request that we have before us tonight
Correct.
include a vertical setback variance for the second floor? Am I framing that properly?
Yes.
Okay. That, I'm not sure anybody here knows the answer to.
Vertical expansion.
It's my
it,
turn.
and this was just my opinion, that what we had in front of us covered the proposed project with his variance requests covered his proposed project in a manner that I was perfectly comfortable, you know, reviewing, seeing no issue with. Again, whether a variance or not is granted is completely up to you guys and, you know, the hardship that we find. comfortability, I don't think anything was here that is very misleading, or I think he's requesting what he should be requesting here and has made his application clear enough. Could the board say, listen, we're gonna, say no to this one, come back, or, table it if we wanted to, with X, Y, and Z corrections? Of course they could. I personally was, and again, not a member of the board, I was comfortable with what was put in front of us.
Okay,
But
so,
not everybody may feel that way.
okay, so,
May I ask you,
go ahead.
why can't the request for the front yard setback be amended to say, including the second story?
It absolutely could.
That's,
So
I-
then, I agree with Eric to the extent that, a large percentage of properties and homes in Orange are existing non-conforming. So that's why we exist. And therefore, but to Pat's point, I think as a board, we're detail-oriented and we should act accordingly and consistently with the regulations. That's all. I'm just trying to follow the regulations.
yeah, that would
I
cover us.
understand your point, and I am thinking along your lines. The question becomes, I think we're constrained to act upon the application that's placed in front of us. And as far as amendments go, I'm not sure how much latitude we have. No, listen, let me let me finish. I'm not sure how much latitude we have to add language to an application once it's presented to us. Am I making myself clear?
I think that we can. I think
well-
Wayne's suggestion we can do. We can
Okay.
approve, deny,
So
or
really,
modify.
the suggestion that I'm hearing is that we make the variance application, we read it to be, not only is it a variance application for the, is it front yard setback?
Yeah.
And ground coverage.
But that variance also includes a vertical variance for the second floor.
Just from my experience, having participated and presented in hundreds of ZBA and P and Z meetings, which I'm sure many of you have as well, we've always been able to accept conditions or not accept conditions put on us by the board that we were appearing before, whether it be New Haven or Madison or Greenwich or wherever. I agree with Jack that
I accept that.
I think it's
I accept
within
that. I
our,
do it. I
our
acknowledge that.
purview
What
to
I'm
accept
what I'm
an
concerned
amendment.
about, though, and this is as an attorney, is that the plaintiff or the petitioner in this case is the master of their claim. Okay, they're responsible to make the claim to this board. Well, the board, it's not the board's or the judge's responsibility to read into that application and add to it as needs to be added to make it proper. I question whether we have the procedural capability to say, we will take this application and effectively read it as an application for a variance of not only this regulation and that regulation, but also a third regulation, okay? That's a procedural problem that I don't have an answer to. I understand that we have the right to set conditions and to make suggestions and work with applicants, and we do a very good job of that, I think, as a board. However, I'm not sure that and I don't know that I can point to a specific regulation that deals with what we're talking about. Go ahead, Pat.
May I make a suggestion?
Well, first off, let me just clarify. Does everybody understand what I'm saying?
Yes.
Okay? This is not necessarily a regulation problem. This is a procedural problem that I'm trying to work out in my head. Now, go ahead, Pat.
Well, given the aspect that he was applying for a setback variance in the front, okay? And the extension that's above the second floor, which sits back behind this extension in the front of the garage, could it not be deemed that with the anticipation of an approval of the front porch, the vertical, it could be understood or deemed that it would reflect as the vertical as part of that setback issue? Could we not put it in that manner?
Somebody over here shaking their head? No. Go ahead, Wayne.
I see no problem articulating the request for a front yard setback to include the second floor, because the worst thing that could happen is the neighbor says, oh, they got the front yard setback relief for the porch. Oh, I didn't know it was for the second floor too. So I'm just saying, to protect the owner, that's who I'm thinking about first, and that we articulate our approval appropriately. We just add the words to articulate it. What Jack has already said was included within the front yard setback request.
That's Jack's opinion, I heard that.
Yes.
Okay. And I acknowledge that we can do that. I'm questioning whether or not we have the legal authority to do that, okay? Now,
From my experience, I
Okay.
believe we do.
I've heard your argument, okay? I still have this question in my mind, and we talked about maybe setting these people up for failure by not doing this, and that at some point, somebody could come back out of the weeds and say, well, somebody could also come back out of the weeds and say, that board didn't have the power to enunciate the variance it did, because that wasn't what was applied for. Okay, that's my problem as a lawyer.
And the other
Now-
problem would be you set a precedent.
Correct, but that's not a problem for us, because
Variance
one
does.
variances don't set precedents. Go ahead.
Setbacks does.
What would be the difference if that was done now, or you tabled it and he came back in with another one next month?
It would just be a written amendment in front of us, you know? But that kind of goes into my point, or a point I want to make. I think if the intent of this board is made very clear, and the way that we have had a discussion with the property owner and take a vote, I think that the record, if this were to ever be challenged in any way,
You can see the
you,
conversation.
we have a clear intent of what we are looking to say yes to and what we may not be. I think the general discussion of the board, and if we come to the board comes to an agreement saying this is our intent with how we want to treat this modification, then I think that is very clear, you know, if this were to ever go to court, again, in my opinion. I think as long as the intent is very clear of what we're voting on.
Okay. With that, I think I'd entertain a motion to close the public hearing. Do we want to?
I have one other thing.
Go ahead,
that
Wayne.
I'm sorry, I'm taking everyone's time this evening, but I missed Jeopardy already anyway.
I feel like we're playing Jeopardy right
Oh, really?
now. I don't know that you guys are really understanding what I'm articulating, but go ahead.
I understand what you're saying.
I don't think so, because it's a bigger concern than you're understanding.
No, I think it goes both ways, so that's why I do understand what you're saying.
What's your point?
But I would like to offer a condition that, and then someone can make a motion for approval or not, that the health department approves the setback from the frost wall and footings to the septic system. That's part of the condition.
Unrelated to what we're talking
We'll
about.
talk that, we'll talk that through in our discussion after
Okay.
this. Let me ask this, let me come at this from a different angle, Jack. Are you aware of any regulation where a setback variance, a separate setback variance for a second floor is required?
Yes, if it is a non-conforming first floor. It's a vertical expansion.
Which is what we got.
Yes. So, but what I'm saying is the variance might be necessary, but I believe what he put in front of us and what he has requested encompasses that, and it is not encroaching any further. So it's not like we would have to approve a variance, you know, saying, oh, he's gonna come 2 feet closer with this existing portion of the house. I think that as long as, again, we make our intent clear on the record, we show that we have noticed and discussed the second floor and have no problem including that in our approval, even though it is a vertical expansion that would be included in this variance request.
Okay. So with that, I think I should ask first, does anybody, we're still in public hearing, so does anybody have anything they want to add either for or against the application?
I think, and we made it clear, that we wanted, a consideration on reducing, the nonconformity of, the ground coverage.
Yeah, we'll get to that in a second. We'll do
Okay.
that in our discussion. I just want to get the public
Yeah,
hearing
that's it.
place closed. Okay, so with that, I'll entertain a motion to close the public portion of the hearing.
Make a motion.
Pat makes the motion, Greg seconds. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, so, we've talked about our procedural problems. I think the path forward there has been articulated by Jack. So with that, Pat, you raised an issue that I told you we'd get to, and so did you, Wayne.
Well,
So,
the issue I have is, the ground coverage I have an issue with. It can be addressed. It doesn't have to be, at 13. He can reduce that by reducing the, deck in the rear, somewhat, and so forth, the front, porch as well. I think, if he made those, reductions, he could get back to where he didn't need a required, ground coverage.
so that'll be the second variance he's asking for.
Well,
Right.
and just to be clear, he would still need it. Existing today, he's over the 10%.
Yes.
So if he's adding anything here, he needs some sort of ground coverage variance.
Yeah, but he would be, if he didn't increase the,
Oh, it could be reduced, yeah,
Yeah,
no
that's what I'm
question
saying.
there, but either way, he would still need a maximum ground coverage variance.
but
I'm not
it'd be,
sure
it
that-
would be less than the 13% he has now.
I'm not sure. that
Right
they-
now, he's at 10.2%.
Yeah.
He is requesting 13.2%.
That's what I'm saying to you.
Right, so we could definitely ask him to
To
reduce
reduce
it,
that,
but
okay.
either way, even if he's adding 1 square foot onto the house, he
still
needs
has
this
to have it.
variance, because he's already over the 10%.
Right, because it's pre-existing non-conforming.
Exactly.
So it's kind of irrelevant almost. It should also, you gotta look at it from a
Yeah,
proportionally, like if I look at something like this, I'm looking at the neighborhood, I'm looking at the homes and the size of the properties. You know, aesthetically is where this all comes down to, because you don't want a huge house on a small parcel property. I think ultimately, he's not really visually from the road, he's not even expanding the house left and right at all. So if you're looking at the house, it's not even getting any longer. I think, you know, everything here is proportional to the size of the property. So no matter, like, if you wanna call it today's regulations, everything about that entire neighborhood does not comply with zoning. So I think, you know, because of his hardship is the fact that he's not, you know, pre-existing non-conforming, everything on that property has to be treated, I think, in proportion with the property. Not like a
I don't
50-foot
disagree
setback
with you
or,
on that.
you know.
But the thing is
so-
what you can do, our job is, as far as I know, our job is to look at the regulations and see
Yeah.
what makes sense and what doesn't.
Yeah.
And in a percentage-wise on hitting nonconformity as far as ground coverage, if you got it closer, and less on the ground, and he has the ability to do that. I mean, he could shrink still have the same aesthetical effect, reduce the front, portion of it, instead of coming out 8 feet, 4 feet. Deck-wise, reducing the size of the deck, get it closer to the
Yeah.
10%. That's all I'm saying here.
Yeah.
I'm not saying change his design.
I don't,
I would say just,
Yeah, it's,
you know, we could also say that he wouldn't need a variance at all if we told him he couldn't have any of it. So, I'm not
That's a good
seeing,
point.
I'm not seeing the porches as the real.
Well, it's
The
not.
percentage of coverage that represents is de minimis in
It's
the
11.
grand scheme of things.
Goes from 13 to 11.
So, I'm not seeing how we have to change anything here, these plans. You had a point? I understand we wanna work with people and stuff, but,
I would actually like to, other than what I mentioned about the septic system, I would like to voice my support for the application as is, as long as the application, this part of the application, is in order, which I think we've already agreed upon, can be properly articulated. That was my whole point.
yeah, I understand.
cross a T, dot an I kind of person.
I'm
As
trying
I'm
to.
sure you are too.
I'm trying to.
Pat, not so, by the way. But, and he calls people in the middle of a meeting. But,
You got Greg too.
and Greg.
See, I didn't call you though.
But,
It's all right, you knew you were gonna get to talk to me.
I mean, the neighborhood, like Eric has pointed out, is mostly existing non-conforming. This is really a small lot. I think it's a sincere application, and the applicant is being forthright and in terms of their needs, and we just need to make sure all our ducks are in a row, and that's my only point.
Thank you. Eric, you got something you wanted to add? No green light?
I'll give you the, I got the green light. No, yeah, I agree with Wayne. It's, like I said, everything that they, did here, I think is, tastefully done, and, I don't see really, any issues.
Okay.
So then let's make a,
I want to thank you all for the spirited discussion tonight. I mean, this is one of our longer
Absolutely.
meetings. We've really thought this one through.
I was worried about the whip coming out.
I haven't applied the whip in a long time.
We didn't give you any false job reports or
I don't know how the tens of people watching out there in TV land are gonna interpret all this with whips and phone calls and stuff. With that, then, gentlemen, I'd entertain a motion to approve the variance with the, I'll let somebody
Amendment.
take a stab at articulating what it
Good one.
is. We wanna add the second floor, so, let's be very clear about that.
well,
Yeah.
Good.
Take a stab at it.
We can all
I'd
kinda
like
work
to-
collegially. on it.
Just turn on your microphone, please, Wayne, thank you.
yes, sorry about that. I would like to make a motion that we approve the application with the stipulation that the request for the front yard variance setback include the second floor addition.
Vertical.
That second floors are typically vertical.
We want to get
Second
clarity
floor
on this. Want to make sure we're clear.
Second floor addition shown in plan submitted, and I can
Yeah.
put the date.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
I just want to make sure that the applicant understands that this variance extends no farther than the variance for the first floor. So I don't want to find out we've got something hanging a foot
Yes.
over.
Right, no garrison or
This
anything
is,
like
this
that.
is flat front,
Right.
front wall.
Right.
All right, so that's the motion. We all understand the addition. So I'll entertain a second.
I'll take a second.
Second. So, Ms. Bowser, at long last, can you finally call the roll here, and we'll see who votes. Everybody's gonna vote except for Michael. Michael, thank you for your participation tonight.
Okay. Commissioner Garrick,
Yes.
Commissioner Panza,
Yes.
Commissioner Orville,
Yes.
Commissioner Natalino, Chairman Crowe.
Yes, and let's just, for the record, state that a yes vote is to approve
To approve.
the
With the
variance
With the conditions that were
with the
proposed by
conditions
Wayne.
as
Yeah.
as articulated. All right? Thank you all for your hard work this evening. Again, the variance is not effective to be recorded on the land record, so when you receive it, make sure you get it recorded there, okay? Thank you. Sorry we kept you late this evening, but we got it all talked through. We got a lot of really smart people around the table here, and we gotta work it out, so. With that, gentlemen, I'd entertain a motion to adjourn.
I make a motion?
Pat makes a motion, Greg seconds. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right, have a good evening. Good night out there in
Yeah,
TV land, and
good
thank you all for your help.